Most people believe they are rational beings who occasionally get emotional. In reality, the reverse is true. You are an emotional being who occasionally struggles to be rational. If you've ever known exactly what you needed to do, whether it was starting that project, ending a toxic habit, or making a difficult investment, but you simply didn't do it, you weren't lazy. You were suffering from cognitive coupling. Your logic was tied to your immediate feelings, and your feelings won. The 1% don't have more willpower than you. They have a different mental architecture. They use a technique called cognitive decoupling. It is the ability to view a situation as a cold, hard set of data, completely detached from the noise of fear, ego, or comfort. Today, we are going to break your emotional anchors and redraw your decision-making map. The baseline test, the impulse check. Before we dive into the psychology, let's test your current level of decoupling. In the next 30 seconds, I'm going to show you a series of rapid-fire prompts. Your goal is to respond based only on the logic provided, ignoring the distracting colors and sounds that will try to trigger your gut reaction. Because a false prompt was highlighted in bright green, your brain is still heavily coupled. You are reacting to the environment, not the data. To reach the next level of intelligence, we have to sever that connection. Chapter 1. The Biohacker's Fallacy. Why feeling is a lie. We've been taught to trust our gut. While this is great for avoiding a dark alleyway, it is a disaster for high-level success. Your gut is essentially a collection of ancient survival mechanisms designed to keep you safe and comfortable, not successful. When you feel resistance toward a difficult task, that is your amygdala trying to save you from perceived stress. If you are coupled, you interpret that feeling as a sign to stop. The decoupled mind sees that same feeling and labels it as noise. They understand that the feeling of discomfort is actually the compass pointing toward growth. To change your life, you must stop treating your feelings as facts and start treating them as biased suggestions. Chapter 2. The third-person perspective. One of the most powerful tools in the 1% toolkit is self-distancing. Research shows that we are significantly better at solving other people's problems than our own. Why? Because when we look at a friend's situation, we are naturally decoupled. We see the facts without the fog of their personal fear. The elite architect of the mind learns to view their own life in the third person. Instead of asking, what should I do? They ask, what should an objective, high-performing individual in this exact position do? By shifting the language, you create a mental gap. This gap is where your intelligence lives. It's the difference between a reactive life and a strategic one. The comment challenge. Let's apply this right now. Think of one major problem you are currently facing. Go to the comments and describe that problem as if you are writing about a character in a book. Use he or she instead of I. This small act of linguistic decoupling will force your brain to see solutions you've been ignoring. Chapter 3. The sunk cost trap and the ego death. Why do people stay in failing businesses or dead-end relationships? It's the sunk cost fallacy. Their logic is coupled with the time and effort they've already invested. They feel that leaving would mean the past year was a waste, so they waste another year to justify the first one. Decoupling requires a mental reset. You must be able to look at your life every single morning and ask, if I woke up in this body for the first time today with no history, would I choose to spend my time on what I have planned? If the answer is no, the decoupled mind cuts the cord immediately. They don't care about pride or looking consistent to others. They only care about what is true now. Chapter 4. Building the logical firewall. To maintain this state, you need a logical firewall. This is a set of predetermined rules that govern your behavior so your emotions don't have to. If the task takes less than 2 minutes, do it now. Rule, not a feeling. If I feel the urge to check my phone, I must first take 5 deep breaths. Friction. If I fail at a task, I must write down 3 objective reasons why. Data over drama. By building these rules, you take the decision out of the moment. You are no longer negotiating with your lazy or fearful self. You are simply executing the code of your architecture. Conclusion, the freedom of detachment. Cognitive decoupling isn't about becoming a robot. It's about becoming free. When you are no longer a slave to your fleeting impulses and emotional spikes, you finally gain the clarity to build something that lasts. Most people will continue to live coupled lives. They will be pushed around by the news, their social media feeds, and their morning moods. But you've stayed until the end because you're ready to install a new operating system. You're ready to redraw the map. If you're ready to master your mental architecture and join the 1%, subscribe. We're just getting started. SimpleMindLab. Think deeper. Redraw your map.